Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Community Engagement Podcast. My name's Gary Bryson and joining me today I have Dana Erwin and I have Kirsty McColl, who are from Community Action Newarthill. Thanks for coming into the studio. Well, I say the studio, my dining room, let's face it, we're a little bit amateur in that respect, maybe one day. But no, thanks for taking the time and coming over to see us and for doing the podcast with us, and I'm really looking forward to interviewing you.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for the coffee.
No, that's £2 a cup. You don't get out without doing that. No, it's really good to hear from you and see you and to come in and give us the time. I've spoken to you before on and off, and I know a little bit about your organisation, obviously, and you're doing fantastic work in your local community. And it's about time we started to help promote you a little bit as well, and you look at sort of volunteering opportunities that you can give to anyone within the area or out with the area for that matter that wants to get involved. So yeah, we can just start off. How long has Community Action Newarthill been on the go?
It's been on the go since 2017.
Right, so you're relatively young still, 6 years roughly.
Yeah.
Okay. So what sort of services do you actually offer?
You name it, we've got things that cater for from basically babies right through the young at heart. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
The oldest service users being in their late 80s.
Okay, so what do you offer then? Because I know you said that you do a befriended service, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got a little bit about Reiki as well, I believe?
Yeah, so we offer a few things. On a Monday, we have Tai Chi, which is basically a gentle martial art, very relaxing, and basically helps keep your mobility going. In the evening, we have a ladies group where it's informal chat, a nice wee cup of tea, guest speakers. Tuesday morning, we have a drop-in. You can just come along, have a wee bit of socialisation. And we also have alternate therapies. So in this, you have Reiki, you have massage, Indian head massage, hand massage, reflexology, Reiki vibrational healing, which is using a healing drum. So you get a wee bit extra relaxation. If you're feeling a bit more energetic, we have line dancing footsteps in the afternoon. On a Wednesday morning, we have tiny tots, so basically from birth up until preschool age. So it's like fun games, a snack and a wee sing-along. On a Wednesday night, we're at the Andrew Hamilton Centre, which is in Kirfin. So there it's basically from school age, and there's an itinerary basically what they're doing. On a Thursday, we have for the older crafting groups. So again, there's going to be a craft drop-in. So you can come along, just do your own wee crafting, or else you can book in for the actual craft group, which will be a kind of limited number. So they have different projects on, such as rock painting,
So making scrapbooking and things coming in the future, but you don't have to be older to do it. Anybody at any age can come along, even if you need a hand being able to show them how to knit. They've got knitters, they've got crocheters, they know
card making.
The Thursday you've got men's group, so any men at any age essentially to come along. They get the lunch, you get a quiz, we call it still game. Yep, found the clansmen. So they play darts, they've got bowls, they've got dominoes and everything set up, and you just come and get a good hearty lunch with loads of cups of tea and coffee.
It's a good laugh, and they're a good bunch of guys. And then Friday morning we have Jumping Juniors, which is split into 2 groups.
So they've got 0 to 2, I think it is. So it's round about, it's like not being able to walk age and then able to walk age. So they're tailored to it. So they've got like simpler songs. They don't have like the parachutes and stuff out for the first ones. And then they've got the parachutes, more advanced songs, more running about. So we can take.
And the week will be a different theme. So we've got like Mermaid Week, we've got Gruffalo, closer to Halloween, we've got a Halloween kind of theme. Closer to Christmas, it'll be Christmas themes. So
we're done under the sea.
It's good fun for the kids. So most of these are £3 or a donation. For the therapies, it's highly recommended you book in, as it is really popular, and it's £5 for 30 minutes.
In the men's groups, £4. But we've also got it that if you're a carer and if you've got a carer's card, you can come along for free.
Nice.
The thing you need to pay for would be your therapy.
Or a pre-booked craft.
That would be the only thing you would need to pay for if you got one of these cabs.
And also, if you're struggling, if you say to us, we would give you a code word to say to whoever's on, and then it means one, you can't afford it, or you want to try something else. We're not going to discriminate against that. We would give you a code word just to say to whoever it is, you would be able to come along.
Yeah, helps a lot with dignity,
But mainly going back to the question, it is Monday to Friday. We're 9 o'clock in the morning, essentially, until
whatever activities on at night.
On the Friday, you're talking about lunchtime.
Yeah. So you get a heck of a lot going on for a starter, but you've got lots there for different types of people as well and different ages. My wife actually does a bit of Reiki, so I'm aware about some of the alternative therapies that are out there, and they seem to be becoming more and more popular, and why not try them? Because they certainly do work for people.
Mental health, they're really good for.
Yeah.
Relaxation, helps with your niggly sore bits if you're getting a massage. Don't be afraid to try it. It is really, really beneficial, and it's a great feeling for everything, for all the therapies.
I think you're right. Don't be afraid to try these things. A lot of people look at them because they're alternative therapies and think, well, it's not a tablet, therefore it doesn't work. But as you said there, one of the sort of major things that you will get from it is just the relaxation alone, and that in itself can be great at healing. So yeah, give it a go. Why not? You don't physically have a premises as such, do you? But you've got use of 2 premises.
Yes, that's right. It's 2 community centres. So our main activities will be in Newarthill Community Centre, which is on High Street, and Andrew Hamilton's in Kirsty.
Even with our main centre, it's quite handy that it's right where Newarthill Primary School was, which most people in Newarthill went to. There's also a bus stop right at it. There's also like a chemist and a doctor's and stuff. So it's handy enough that even if you're on there, even on a Tuesday to do the drop-in, even if you just want to come and have a cup of tea and a biscuit, just literally get out the house, use our heating. That's what loads of folk done in the winter. Come and use our workspace. Come and get a cup of tea.
A friendly face. We're always happy to see people.
Now, you mentioned all these sessions, all these events and whatnot, and obviously you've got 2 different premises. I know you've got a web page. Are all the details on that? Is it up to date?
So the web page is a working in progress. So it is up to date with the summer programme just now, because we've got a Welcoming Wednesday that's on every Wednesday just now in the morning, that we've got a local company doing the buffet. So it's a light buffet. We've got guest speakers like lawyers and stuff coming in. It's all on the website, all our contact details. We've got everything. We've got like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything like that. But our main focuses are Facebook and on the website. The website is a work in progress. As I said, I'm using Wix. Some of the things can be quite fiddly, especially if you like things lined up like I do. So it is a case of it's a working in progress. The basic website is there. The skeleton's there. We just essentially need to add the meat and bones, if you want to put it that way.
Yes.
Some of it I'm finding not as user-friendly if you go to align photos and things like that. So it's getting there.
If anyone has advice or can help, please feel free to contact us. We would be greatly appreciative with that because we want it.
Definitely. I mean, that's what we're here, is to try and share best practice as well. So yeah, if anyone out there is a dab hand at creating and updating a Wix website, then please get in touch with Community Action URL. There will be details at the end of the podcast, so you'll be able to see on your screen all the details that Kirsty has mentioned there, like contact details for your emails, phone numbers, etc. So yeah, if anyone does have any advice or can help with that, please do step forward and give Kirsty a hand before she loses all of her.
Please don't of coffee, at least in a friendly place.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's a winner. Looking at both of you then, if we start with you, Kirsty first. You've been with the organisation the longest through the 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, so I've started off as a volunteer and then became a board member. So I've been with CAN for 1.5 years or 2 years now.
I actually thought you'd been there longer, which is why I was saying to start with you, because Dana, you've been there around about the same sort of time, have you not?
I think Kirsty's just a wee slight touch.
I'm like a month or 2 longer than Dana. There's not that much
Yeah, okay.
like time difference between us, but I kind of got into it through family because my partner's mum's the chair of the board. Right throughout lockdown, we had my baby girl there, so when other kids didn't have the interaction, the second restrictions and stuff were lifted, we've had her there, so she's like everybody's grandchild, adopted grandchild. So I had never done charity work, never done anything like that before. Worked in call centres and nursing homes and stuff for years. Was a manager, done all of that till I had my baby, and then it's just
Falling into it.
I've kind of fallen into it in every way, shape and form to the point that I'm doing like full-time hours as a volunteer and as a board member and doing the social media and doing the men's group.
Volunteer coordinator as well.
Doing a bit of every single thing.
It's a full-on week for you as a volunteer
Yeah.
with everything that you're doing, basically. What about yourself, Dana? What was your background?
So my background is sports and fitness. I used to be gym instructor, personal trainer, taught classes, and then I moved to the reception in the local sports centre. I had qualified as doing my Reiki and holistic therapies. Had approached Angela whenever we were doing actually a meditation day. I said, could I come in along and volunteer for the therapies? So started doing the therapies, and then summer sessions were starting last year. So as I was still working in the sports centre, I could only do certain days, so started volunteering. Then in November last year, the job for project coordinator came up, and I went for it saying, I'll see how it goes. Lo and behold, I got the job, and I'm like, wow. Before then, I had never volunteered before. It's been a total game changer for me, which I'm absolutely loving it. So yeah, been a bit different for myself.
And I think most people that do get into the volunteering side of things really do enjoy it. I mean, I'm much like yourselves, that the sort of volunteer work that we are involved with, we've sort of fallen into that as well. It was never something that we necessarily looked 5-10 years ago and said, let's go and do volunteering. It's just sort of happened and developed, and yeah, I think you do get sucked in more and more as you go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever, for me anyway, there was never any conscious effort that I was ever going to try and do any volunteering work. But yeah, it's good and it's fun, and if it wasn't for getting into it, I wouldn't be doing these podcasts with yourselves, for instance. So
I think it's something that you can always look back and think you made a difference, even if it's just making somebody's cup of tea that hasn't had a cup of tea made for them that day due to whatever reason, or you spoke to somebody. It makes you feel that much. It gives you more purpose, that even if you're having a bad day, you think, right, I'm still going there. I need to put a brave face on for whatever reason if you're having a bad day, and then it makes you feel better. It takes your mind off of whatever you've got going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, you feel better for it.
And I think that it's so important these days for the younger ones to try and get and do some volunteering, especially if they're, between like leaving school and trying to get employment, they've not got any experience. It gives them a chance. Yeah, life skills is a big issue for a lot of the younger people these days. Mental health issues. And just being able to get out and meet people and talk to people, interact with people is so important. And of course, it looks great in the CV as well. So, yeah, I think volunteering should be, we should look at the younger generation as all having to do a couple of hours doing something or other just to get them out and
it helps even with their self-confidence, because we've got somebody that never ever spoken in front of a group because avoided it through school, was at college and then had been put forward, and they're now willing to stand in front of 30, 40, 50 people, even during the summer programme, talking to them, and they would never ever have done that 6 months ago. And that's what they said, that the difference even in they've learned to work with kids, adults, craft, males, females, everything. And they said they wouldn't be able to do that without community action Newarthill, essentially giving them the proverbial kick, that we had the confidence in them, that they knew that they could do it. Everybody brings something different to the table, and that's what it's like. It's like a big family, kind of, isn't it?
Very much a community spirit.
An unconventional family, but definitely everybody brings something different, and even if you're not originally from the area like I'm not, you're opened with welcome arms. So anybody can come from anywhere and still be part of Community Action Newarthill family.
We've had lockdown, COVID, and we've had so many people that have become recluses in a lot of ways, sitting in the house, sitting on their PlayStations or Xboxes, and trying to get them back out again has been difficult. And yeah, mental health's definitely been a big issue. Just going on there, obviously you have come from different backgrounds, and as you said, the volunteering wasn't something that you were looking to get into. You just sort of fell into it in a lot of ways, or opportunities have arisen through employment. What's been your biggest sort of challenges since taking on these roles that you carry out?
Mine's has been totally different career move. Like I said, I was through a sports and fitness background, and then coming into this job, I'm like, well, where did I start? But it's been great. I've learned a lot from people that have been on the board, like Kirsty and chair, vice chair, and amongst others. So that was, I think, the only barriers that I've really came across is just that, where did I start? Has somebody got a guidebook I can like follow?
Did you not come into a role that really didn't exist previously? Was there someone?
Someone had been in it, but the post hadn't been covered for maybe a few months, so things had kind of lagged behind a wee bit, so I was trying to play catch up, learn new skills, like where do I start here kind of thing, but it seems to have progressed, and I've progressed, I hope.
Yeah, no, you can tell the difference, definitely.
Yeah. First 6 months or a year in a job, especially if it's been vacant for a while, is a challenging time, and that's a real learning curve. I've been in that sort of position myself, so you get to make the job your own in a lot of ways because of that as well, which can be really beneficial for you going forward. What about yourself, Kirsty? Any real major challenges that you come up against?
I don't know, see, because I've never been in this industry before. There's nothing that I will turn around and automatically say no to. If somebody says, oh, well, you can't do that, I'm in the mindset of, why can we not do that? Is there not another way we can do that? Can we look at it rather than thinking inside the box? Which I think if you've been in the same charity from the beginning and watched it grow, I think it can be kind of that mindset for some people. Not everybody, but I think it can be that mindset for some people. And I think it's, for me, it's been challenging that, trying to open the box a wee bit more, not fully, and go at it for everybody to shut the box down. But it's just that kind of thinking outside the box. Look, if we think this way, the charity's still going to be in the same place. It's not going to be moving with the times, because we were saying even before the podcast, if you don't have younger members on the board and as employees, like 2 years ago, Can would never ever been in the position to do a podcast, because the youngest person would have been in their 50s on the board.
Yeah.
So realistically, they would never have been in a position even to meet with you, to have done anything like that, to have saw everything on social media, to be doing that and being as active. I don't think
Can invent modern now.
so.
So thinking out the box, that's when magic can happen.
Yeah.
It's growth and challenges for like us as people, like individuals, and also for the community group. We're trying to just get the word out about Can, basically, and this is a totally different way of doing it.
Totally different means to do, because we can still go to 5 minutes away from Can that people haven't heard. Where I stay is got a notice board up that other people are doing what we're doing, charging a lot more, but we don't have the posters up, and you can go to them if you heard of Can. No, what's that?
Yeah.
Community action. I've walked by it, but I didn't ever know what it was. So it's a case of getting it out there in every single way possible.
Mm-hmm. And I've said before, that there's a heck of a lot of organisations out there that had no idea it existed until I started looking into it for doing these podcasts. So yeah, that's definitely the reason why we want to try and promote these as well, get the word out and get the locals in the community, as you see, even the ones that stay close by, they have no idea who you are or what you do. And yeah, it's quite frightening that people within those, your local areas don't even know. But yeah, we'll do our best to try and help you out and see what we can do. So what do you enjoy about the job most? There must be highs and lows, things that you love, things that frustrate the life out of you.
What do I enjoy about my job? I enjoy basically pretty much a lot of things. I love meeting the residents that come in, service users, going to different networking events, trying to get more funding for us. Like, we want to expand, as in we want to have more groups, we want to
have our own building.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that frustrate us that basically hold us back.
There's loads of different stuff, but the perks and the enjoyment definitely outweigh the frustration. It's the same as everything else. You could focus on the negative things, But at the end of the day, we know that we're making a difference. And if we make a difference to one person, for me personally, that's enough. You can see their faces. Even with my wee girl, if I take her into the men's group, some of the men stay with their daughters that haven't saw a child in 70 years, potentially. Everybody's going through their own stuff. We've got people that come with a partner. So if they suffer with like any mental health issues, any Alzheimer's, dementia, anything like that, they can come with their wives and their wives are as accepted as anybody else. And I think it's just knowing that we can help people. See, that's the biggest thing for me. I'm a volunteer. I could be working, but to me, can makes a difference. I wanted to be on the board to make a difference. And I'm not from Motherwell, I'm from Ayrshire, and see the difference and even being accepted into that essentially one big family.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Everybody talks to everybody. You're not going to go in there and they're not going to sit and say hi to you. Even if you come in and if you just want to talk to us, get a cup of tea, even see what we're about in any of the groups, you can just say, look, can I come along and see what yous are like? We don't hold any barriers. There's no barriers in place. If you are young and 16 and have sat in front of a computer in life school, we would work with you and see what you want to do and do that same as if you've just recently retired, even if you're 70 or 80 and just want out the house and want a bit of company, we can do that and we can help make a difference.
Everybody's welcome.
Every single person's welcome. We're not going to judge you if you're, say, 40 and head to toe coated in tattoos, whereas some places would. We're not. It's the same as if you're 80 and if you're a fellow, we're not going to turn around and say, you can't do that. It's up to you because you'll know your limits, you know what you want to do. And it's a case of, do you want to make a difference in somebody's life? Because if you do, volunteering is for you.
Yeah. And I've heard several organisations saying to me as well that volunteers, when they come on board, don't necessarily leave because they do become family almost. They become friends, they make friends, and they support each other going forth, whatever happens in life. They're there for each other. So there's a real benefit that way as well. That is, you're volunteering, it's like a support group as well.
Yeah, we had a support group because people came in and gave us their problems and like, how can I fix this? Do you know where I can get this information from? So we're not just there for a wee cup of tea, we're there to help people and give advice, information if need be. Or we can take people to hospital appointments or clinic appointments if they don't have forms of transport. We're there just for...
And if we can't help, we know people that can. We work with like local charities like the Rape Crisis, things like that. We obviously work with yourselves. If we don't know something, if you've got an issue, then we can find the answer to it. If not, we will exhaust every single means possible. So as much as we are here for a cup of tea, if you need a hand, say you need to get a wheelchair, we can find you a wheelchair. We can source that. Say you needed a referral to occupational health. We can do things like that.
And that's the real importance of making contacts and networking, isn't it? It's so important. Brilliant. Funding's obviously a big issue for us, as every organisation these days, because funding's been cut year after year. Recently, everyone's feeling the pinch. How are you coping with your funding to be able to operate on a day-to-day basis?
Their funding has been cut slightly, so we'll use this for example. So last year we had summer sessions. So it was on like a Tuesday and a Thursday, morning and afternoon. We had guest speakers in, we had food brought to us. Whereas when it was applied for this year, they could only give us enough money for one day for 2.5 hours, which some of our service users are asking, can we not get another day? So we've provided a light buffet for the Welcome Wednesdays. MD's welcome, by the way, kids as well. We've got guest speakers, so we've had people come in speaking about holistic therapies, meditation sessions. We're going to have lawyers coming in to speak about power of attorney and wills. Financial inclusion team, they can help you out if you're worrying about any money worries, benefits, that sort of stuff. So yeah, in a way, our funding has been cut, but we try and...
You're still trying to provide those services, but you're just having to cut back in the times that you're actually delivering on each of them, which is unfortunate. Who are you actually approaching for your funding?
So our main funders are the National Lottery, Robertson's Trust. We've had courses through Motherwell College through the Flexible Workforce Development Fund. So we've had, like, say for example, a few volunteers on rehas courses, which is like food hygiene. We've had first aid, social media and visual content, admin courses. So there's actually quite a few good courses if you've got the funding available to actually get the courses. We've had donations, thankfully, which we're really appreciative of, from bars, Iron Brew. We've had from Scotman.
Asda are really good.
We've had from Tesco, we've had from Morrison's, Greg's, Little.
Farm Foods.
People have been really kind to us, but again, this is only temporary. Like, this is like kind of maybe one-off donations, whereas can rely, hopefully, on a lot more, because we're growing a lot more in our community. A lot more people are coming in to use our services.
You've obviously been involved in trying to secure funding yourself on a few occasions over the short period of time you've been with the organisation. Is there any sort of advice you can offer to anyone when they're actually filling out these application forms, things to do, things to maybe avoid?
The biggest be as specific as you can. Write down everything. The more specific you are, the more basically funding you'll probably get. You need to justify why you're getting that funding. So, say for example, if I had to fill out an application form to get gift vouchers, so I had to go onto the website and basically itemise everything. So, say for example, you're wanting to get something like food-wise, you have to go and find out the price of it, how many times a week you need it, and then you have to add everything up and basically justify why you need that certain amount of money. So, be as specific as you can. And add as much detail as you can.
Another example of that would be when we had applied for a gaming group, which was declined, but we had to put down like extensions, because you wouldn't think we're doing like an extension, a Wi-Fi extender, but even like a plug socket extension. I would have thought that if you're thinking of funding, you would need to go down into the details much as that. You would think PC or whatever you need. No, it's down to the very, very minute details, isn't it? For example, an extension. Everybody's got an extension in their house somewhere, probably lying gathering dust, and you would think, right, I would just take that. No, because you need to put that in, because that's part of the funding, right down to what some people would take for granted. With that, they would automatically come, no, you need to do that.
Every little detail helps.
Yes, it's a long, laborious process to actually complete that paperwork.
Trust me, I've seen me a couple of hours at least.
Yeah.
And it's your research before it, like, why am I actually applying for this? Just basically justification of what you're wanting that funding for.
Yeah. So it only used 2 hours to fill out the paperwork, but the research time behind it.
Research can be lengthy, so do your homework.
You could be there for weeks or months really trying to gather that application.
Yeah, just depends what it is you're actually applying for. Like, some things can take less time. Sometimes you're like, this is going to take a while.
I have heard some organisations saying that they're terrible at securing funding, but part of what they're telling me is that they really don't like put the time in to actually, to go into all that detail and all the research work, and that's where they're probably falling down as much as anything. So yeah,
unfortunately, that's part of the job. You just need, if you want to get the funding and the money for to do these things, you need to put the hard work in. Yeah. That's part of the job.
Yeah.
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah, unfortunately, people aren't just giving you the money on.
I know, you have to justify.
Just willy-nilly be like, here's £20,000. No, we want every single detail for what the £20,000 is for, which is 100% correct. That's the way it should be.
Yeah. I'm saying there, no one physically hands you out money. Does anyone hand you out money? Do you ever get donations? Do people fundraise for you as an organisation?
We have a donation tin, so at our drop-ins, a wee donation is gratefully accepted. Every little penny adds up and counts to help us. Hopefully in the near future we will have kind of fundraising events on, but again, that is a work in progress.
We've done fundraising at a local primary school last year at Christmas.
We were selling our handmade knitting and handmade crafts, because we've got the craft group and there is a lot of knitters, crocheters, sewers. We had loads and loads of stuff that they've been doing, like loads and loads of cards, diamond art, stuff like that we sold that then went back into Cairn.
Right.
So we're trying to, obviously, and I know everybody hates talking about Christmas, But if you even look at the CAF TV shows, that's what we were saying to Dana. Dana couldn't believe it because it's all on that just now.
Yeah.
So everybody's automatically thinking. So that's what we are thinking of trying to do, like holistic one, to even raise awareness of what we do. Because we had people there yesterday. We had Elaine from Shining Light Therapies.
Shining Light Holistic Therapies, yeah. So
she was doing a bit of
vibrational Reiki healing.
The vibrational Reiki healing.
Right, it was in a healing drum, basically. So it's obviously a rhythm going and you're in a kind of meditative state. And people were amazed by how they felt after it.
I had the fact that it was like a weight lifted off their shoulders because you can literally feel the vibration from it. And it's amazing. If anybody's never ever done it, even just try it. I find the difference is unreal because you can literally feel it vibrating your full entire body and it just sends you into a state of just
relaxation. And
yeah, because that's all you can hear because it can be quite intensive as well. That's all you can hear. And people yesterday had never ever had the vibrational healing from the drum before they came to our dropper, and we had 30 odd people there yesterday.
Yeah, it's good numbers.
And they were able to do that. So she was able to go around with the drum and affect everybody in that way, in that meditative state, and it was amazing, wasn't it?
Oh, you can see people actually, the difference in them, like how rejuvenated they feel.
Okay. And how their posture was and everything. And see, even just raising awareness to stuff that we do that. And these had been people that had been coming to Cannes for over a year, didn't even know what we did.
I was going to move on to training, but one of the things I should have asked you earlier on, I sort of forgot, was actually how many employees and how many volunteers you actually have in the organisation. I know you get one paid employee as such, which is yourself, Dana. And I believe, what was it said, 24 or 25 volunteers you've got?
Roughly 24 or 25 volunteers, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good numbers again. And these are still considered to be a small organisation as such, but that's a heck of a lot of number of volunteers still.
We're always looking for more volunteers. Even if it's just a wee friendly smile, a chat, you can give to people, make a good cup of tea, and more than welcome we come along.
So there you go, folks. There is an offer and a half. Please come and volunteer at Community Action Newarthill if you've got a few hours.
There's not a time that you need to commit to. I mean, if you can do an hour a month, we're more than happy to have you. Every little helps. We're always looking for new people to come along, new volunteers, new service users. If you want to come along, try us, please feel free. We're more than happy to have you.
Yeah, there is no stigma, there's no judgment from whatever background or wherever you've came from, even if you're not in the area. Say you're even in Glasgow, and if you want to come and see what we're about, come and see us, come and speak to us. We're there, we're always visible with our black t-shirts with the CAM logo on. There's always somebody there.
Definitely friendly and welcoming, I can vouch for that. So anyone that comes along, is there any sort of training that you provide them? Or is there anything they need to do, to volunteer or work with you?
Training-wise, again, the Flexible Workforce Development Fund, they've helped our volunteers with the rehas, the first aid. If there's a course that you're looking for, and we can try and help you, we will try our hardest, as Kirsty says, think outside the box, for trying to get new ideas. So if you've got new ideas that can help yourself and us, please come along.
In terms of when they start as well, we're looking at doing a volunteer induction pack just with even about the CAN values. Who are we? What do we stand for? What do we want to do? What do we expect from you? What do you expect from us? But it's essentially just really getting to know who CAN is.
Affordable, accessible activities for everyone. If anybody's interested, by the way, that's our slogan. That's our slogan there if you're looking for to find out that information.
And I will add in here as well that you maybe heard Dana mention there about Flexible Workforce Development Fund. For anyone out there that doesn't know what that is or has never heard about it, colleges just now around Scotland can all offer funding to small, medium and large businesses through what is basically the apprenticeship levy. So for small businesses out there, such as Community Action Newarthill, they have been able to tap into £5,000 worth of training. Yeah, the usual application form to fill in. I can guarantee you that it's not a big application form. So yeah, if you've never heard of it before, contact your local college and ask them about the Flexible Workforce Development Fund, because there's definitely good value there for you to have. And It's not just for your paid employees. It basically can be used for anyone that brings benefit to your business. So volunteers can access that funding through you as well. If anyone wants to know more about that, feel free to put something in the comments box. This is going to be out on YouTube, so you'll have that ability to do that. And we can get some information to you and let you know more about that if you want. So just getting back to then, community action, Newarthill, the future. I know you are looking, desperately want to get your own premises, and it's an ongoing thing and it's going to be a struggle for you. Is there anything other than that you have in the pipeline that you want to maybe look at doing or considering just now? Thinking like the next 12-month period, for instance.
Trying to reach as many people as we can. We want to be local, affordable, accessible for all. So we don't want to cater specifically for younger people, older people. We want to be able to cater for everybody. So we know the people work during the day. So what we've been trying to do is we've applied for funding for a couple of classes at night and stuff. It's been rejected. So the plan is to keep on trying for things like that. Even for like, we had thought about a youth group to try and build PCs, because we thought, how many people play PCs? How many youths is there about? How many people actually know how to build it? So our focus is to try and work on what we have and expand what we have so that we can reach as many people as possible. But again, to do that, we need to have the volunteers in place to do that. And sometimes that can be a restriction, which is why we are constantly looking for people. And people, I think what puts people off is, I've got to guarantee that I can do whatever many hours a week. You tell us how many hours you can do, even if it's once a month, 2 hours. We could get you in the men's group. We could get you in with the craft kids. We could get you in the craft group, drop in anything, whatever works for your work. And I think that's getting into the future that we need for us to keep on doing what we do and getting bigger. Even if we don't get a new premises, we need more volunteers.
Even if there's any college students out there, say for example, if you're doing like health and social care, if you need to volunteer for part of your course, please feel free to give us an email, a phone or a text. We are more than happy to accommodate. I'm pretty sure there's groups that we can let you volunteer with.
People have done that before. Duke, Edinburgh, anything like that. We know that there's things that people need volunteers. It's hard to kind of find it, which is why we're on the Van Isle, the Volunteer Scotland one, that if you search for us, we've got vacancies on there as well.
Yeah.
Van Isle are a good place to have a look for us. They stand for Voluntary Action North Lanarkshire. So we're on that website. We will be on Alice, which will be a kind of resource if you want to look for, say for example, Tai Chi in the area. We will flag up on that. Trust me, we will be out there. Our name will be out there to let folk know where we are, what we do.
Just when you mention Alice, what is Alice for those that don't know? Because I've never heard of it, to be honest.
It's a really good question, Gary, because off the top of my head I cannot remember what the acronym stands for, but I don't know what it does.
It's a central database.
It's a central database, basically. But can I give you the details of that whenever?
You can, and I will add them to the video description. This again, I'm assuming if I want to Google and just put in Alice.
It's ALISS. So for the life of me, I can't remember what it actually stands for, but I don't know what it does.
But it's a useful site, obviously.
It's a useful site that if you're looking for, say, craft group, you put in craft group, you put in your area, and it pops up with all the craft groups in the area.
But you want to come to Can, because we're a friendly bunch.
You've got everything there anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, we make good cups of tea and coffee, and even if you don't like that, we've always got juice.
Thanks so much.
And biscuits.
So, yeah, I guess you've made that comment about the volunteers. That there is a perception out there, I think, that for anyone that wants to volunteer, that they think that they have to dedicate like 3 hours a week, for instance, a day a week. And yeah, you're just blowing that out the water for yourselves anyway by saying, please come along, even if you can only do an hour a week, an hour a month, whatever it may be. Anything is better than nothing. You've said that you are looking for volunteers continuously. You have got a number of volunteers there already, so it says a lot, I guess, that the more volunteers you have, the more flexible you can be, and the more you can have volunteers coming along and delivering and helping out in whatever format they want or whatever you need, for instance. Your age limit for your volunteers, I'm assuming it is 16 and above there for your volunteers.
So officially, yes, 16 and above, we get you to fill out paperwork. However, if, say, you are 11 years old and love crafting, and if you want to come along to Craft Kids, you are more than welcome to come along and volunteer. We can class you as one of our volunteers if we have a volunteer day out or night out, obviously, depending on where it is. You would come with us and be part of us. We can get you one of the canned t-shirts, which all the volunteers and board members wear. So essentially, any age, really.
And I think the real important thing there is that if you want to volunteer, you get a free t-shirt.
You get a free t-shirt and you always get free juice.
Oh, it's tea, coffee and juice, but you get a free t-shirt. Who doesn't love
You get a free t-shirt that's got a lovely multicoloured design on it. What more could you...
What about pen? Always
Well, we've got pens.
We've got pens and we've got fridge magnets.
So there are lots of benefits for anyone who's got one
Two
t-shirt.
t-shirts actually, because you get a white t-shirt and a black t-shirt.
Yeah.
So 2 t-shirts that you get to wear, a pen, fridge magnets.
Yeah. So you might not get paid, but you get a wardrobe out here. You get fed and watered. And you
Exactly.
get some toys.
If there's food,
Really?
you get your choice of the food probably first.
The food is made by the great Jacketies up in Torrance Park, up in Hollowtown. It's up at the golf club. Honestly, the food's great if you're looking for a wee...
Jackie T's. There's a plug and a half. We're all for a plug.
We were using the local schools and stuff at the men's group. Some of the stuff was coming back, and we've been using Jackie T's, and it's amazing. It is homemade. Their steak pie and everything's to die for. So you go there and have business meetings and business lunches.
Well, you keep
That turned out just to be...
You're supporting a small business as well, so if anybody's in the local area, please go along.
They've also a local family business.
It's a good point as well, supporting the local businesses as well.
Oh, trust me, we like to support the local businesses. We've had food orders for the wee deli across the road and like for our crafting lunches and
From Greenside Garden Centre as well. Anything that we have, we try and keep it local, because you would help local people rather than helping like a big business that probably doesn't need it. Local people need it more.
Yeah. However, you do like big businesses if
Yeah.
you get free money.
Or free iron brew. You can't go wrong.
it just depends where our main stage is. So
Yeah.
Definitely right. So your volunteers then, do they bring benefits with them?
Oh yeah, we can't complain about our volunteers. Everybody's got something unique, haven't they? It's either they're really good at befriending, they make a decent cup of coffee or tea, they have just a welcome, friendly smile, like as in people are nervous coming to a community group if they don't know anyone. They're just brand new to the area, they're like, oh, wish nobody talks to me, but I can guarantee you, see, as soon as you sit down to somebody, within 2 minutes you're telling them a whole load of stuff.
Yeah.
It's everybody's got something different to bring to the table. That we have got great volunteers, haven't we?
Yeah. And even if it's just that you don't know, if you've never done volunteering before, me and Dana were in that position like 24 months ago, 2 years ago. None of us had been doing volunteers, and obviously I'm on the board, I'm the volunteer coordinator, I do all the social media stuff. Dana's a project coordinator. And we go loads of different places.
We do a lot of networking. We've never thought in a million years I'd be doing a podcast.
There's nothing that we couldn't, it's the same as we are not going to judge. There's nothing that we couldn't take. We've got a retired school teacher. We've got a couple of retired school teachers that come. One of them is the vice chair of the board. That Carrie's made as much a difference to her life as...
It's made a difference to a lot of people's lives. We have
You have a lot of experience and knowledge stored out as well.
yeah.
But we've got volunteers that was like, and we've got people, service users that come, that was the chair of the board's teacher. We've got people that came because they knew them from the school, and it's like a varied range. It's not like all older people, all younger people. It's a varied range.
Uh-huh.
And even kids are welcome to everything. This is the thing. If you've got a baby, you can even come along to the crafting.
Trust me, there's plenty of people that will get, the baby will get passed along me.
Yeah.
They'll definitely be paid for that.
But if you don't mind that, lots of people think, oh no, I can't do this if I've got a baby. No, every single person is welcome. We're not going to stand at the door and turn anybody away.
I think that's a very important point as well, because there is a lot of single parent families as well, and they do see having a child as being an obstacle to be able to do lots of things. So having a welcoming environment like that and making it known out there that you are more than happy to have people coming along with kids, try to make sure that everyone's included in everything that you do, which is fantastic. As far as your volunteers are concerned, as you said, you've got about 24, 25 volunteers. Is there anyone in amongst them that you could look at and think, wow, they go way far and above what anyone else does and are extra special? And
To be honest with you, they all stand out just solely for their all different talents.
They all stand out in their own ways. So we've got certain volunteers that like make cups of tea, certain volunteers that will talk to people, certain volunteers that will help. Every single one of our volunteers brings something totally different, and we all gel, and we wouldn't be anywhere without our volunteers. No groups would run.
The people dedicate basically their time, their knowledge and their skills to help can basically thrive and grow. And that's what a big thing we really, really appreciate. We wouldn't be here without our volunteers helping out.
Yep, 100%. We did have a volunteer of the year last year as well. But even this year, everybody stepped up. There's not somebody that's went, right, come on, you need to help us a wee bit more. Everybody steps up in their own way. So as a collective, there is not one person. Every single volunteer does more than what they should be and steps well above their comfort zone. That's what we appreciate. That's what we need.
Brilliant. Dana, Kirsty, that really brings us to the end, I'm afraid. You've drank all my tea, your coffee, you've ate all my biscuits.
Biscuits.
If I don't end it now, I'll be desolate out in the streets. So, for those of you that are listening, if I could just say again, just make sure you keep watching just now, and you will see details coming up for Community Action Newarthill if you want to get in touch with them. They've put out a couple of requests here for help to do with websites, for instance, and maybe for funding applications, whatever else. You know, if anyone's got any volunteers, yes, volunteers, no, go as well.
One.
Definitely. So if anyone wants to get in touch, please feel free to do so. They would look forward to hearing from you. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll go and buy some more tea now. It's bye from me, and I'll see you at some point in the near future, ladies.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.